Hi, my name is Kathleen Legendre. I'm the Associate Attorney here at Zeringue Associates Law Firm in Covington, Louisiana. Today I'd like to talk to you about child support. It is hand in hand with custody. Whenever we have two parents who decide to establish two separate households, child support is inevitably a conversation that may come up for you and your partner as you co-parent your child or your children. So how do you get child support? How does it work? Well, there's two avenues for our region, and I say our region for Louisiana. You can go through the civil, which is through the 22nd Judicial District Court, and someone as myself would assist with filing for child support. Or alternatively, you go to the district attorney's office, and that's called non-support, and they will open a case for you. If you choose to go through our process, the civil process, we will bundle that issue with your other custody issues, and if you're getting divorced, use of the home, use of the vehicles, etc. But when you go through the non-support system, you will also take advantage of the Louisiana portal for receiving and any other miscellaneous charges that the state has. When we file with non-support, that is one issue that a lot of recipients don't realize, is that, let's say hypothetically you receive an award of $500 a month, but when you actually get the money through the CAFE portal, it's only $475 a month. Those little charges and fees is an issue, a component of the non-support process. That's a process that they would manage. We don't deal with the non-support, or we don't work in the non-support court frequently. In fact, that's a very pro se, self-represented litigant friendly avenue, and we do encourage our clients to explore that as an option for them. For Zeringue Associates Law Firm, what we do for our clients is that we take that issue and we provide them the assistance with developing an income and expense sheet, as well as gathering all the necessary paperwork that will help us determine what your income is. And then we can also address the issues regarding your joint or your sole custody requests, because depending on who is the primary parent or whether or not there's shared custody will determine how the funds are actually, how much the income is determined, and how we're going to calculate what's due to the other parent. So how do you get it? How does it work? We essentially will make what's called a prayer for the child support, requesting that it be calculated by the court. When you receive that request, once you receive the service of the paperwork that you have child support on the table, the clerk of court will include an information sheet which details exactly what you need, and it's what you know it to be. It's going to be your W-2s, your 1099s, your past pay stubs or paychecks for the last 4 months. And that information, if that's your 9-to-5 job, it's very easy to calculate and put our hands on. It's a little bit more complicated if you're self-employed, if you're transitioning between positions, but there's ways to calculate it, and that's what the hearing officer conference and our guidance provides, is how we can hone in on that amount. So it's really important to be very transparent when we are going into the income discussion, because it just helps facilitate where we're going to get with the income. So what is the importance of the income? Well, as we know it to be, it would be for how much money is coming into the household that would benefit the child. And the Louisiana state has an algorithm that they have determined how to quantify that amount, and that information is available for the public on Louisiana Law Search. You're looking for revised statute 9:315.19. That is essentially the guidelines that we all utilize. It will say how much is the income coming in monthly, how many children are at issue, if it's 1 child, 2 children, 3 children, etc. You just follow down with both parents are hypothetically living in the same home. We go down to what that income is to the home, and then we read across as to whether or not how many children we have. So if we have 2 children, you're bringing in around $5,000 a month. You're looking at approximately $1,100 in child support. But what if I have the child 75% of the year and you have the child 25% of the year? Or what if I have the child 50% of the year and you have the child 50% of the year? Well, that's where the child support is calculated on 2 separate worksheets. There's worksheet A and there's worksheet B. And that's where we input it. If you're paying for health insurance, if you're paying for extraordinary medical, expenses. What is extraordinary medical expenses? That's how our law firm can assist you in determining what that income and amount is, and ultimately what the support will be calculated to be. How do you get it? How do you receive it? Well, once we make that determination, it goes into a court order. Generally, we will require that the payments are made on the first of the month. Sometimes people want to split the amount. So let's say they want to pay $500 the first of the month and another $500 on the 15th. Maybe that's how their pay stubs work. Then that money will be transferred to the recipient in whatever way that they request it. Do you want it to be Zellied to you? Do you want it to be Venmo'd to you? Do you want it to be in a physical check? There's a variety of ways, and it's really between the parties as to how they prefer to receive it. In the event it's not received, and there's an issue regarding the support coming, that's again with working with our firm that we could assist with how that will be essentially a violation of that court order. And that's a whole nother topic or video for another day. But for right now, we can definitely help with receipt. But the one thing I do recommend, and I hope that this is useful to you, is if you're a recipient or you're a payor, you may want to create your own separate checking account specifically for child support. You could draft the money from your personal account into the special account and then transfer that money to the payee being the person who you're paying to. That way you have a very clean account. It shows exactly how the money is being moved from your personal to the payor. And then that way, whenever you have to, if you ever have to produce evidence of your payments, you don't have to produce all your personal bills and statements. That's not necessary. And even as a payee, you may want to just go ahead and have that account so you have a clean record of when you were paid and how much you were paid. And that could be very beneficial. But Zeringue Associates Law Firm, we're more than happy to discuss how this process works more for your family. And we encourage you to reach out to us. We look forward to working with you. Feel free to call or email us at zeringueassociates@lawyeриncovington.com. And I look forward to talking with you more then.